Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're doing our haul video for the month of January. So we're gonna do manga, then novels and comics at the end, and hopefully you guys stay for the whole thing. But if you want to click off after the manga, go for it. It's all good. So I don't have much to say here. I don't have any extra stuff at the beginning. I'm just gonna jump right into it. So first of all, in the manga sphere, I do have some things that are not actually manga. So let's start with these magazines. So here we have Anime USA. This is the Otaku USA anime special that they do every year. This one was fall 2024, and this one covered a bunch of stuff, mostly Dan. It also covered Mission Yakuzura family, and it also covered this one, which is some sort of like gay Gundam, and a bunch of different things, right, that were pretty interesting. I actually really enjoyed reading through the magazine. There's something very interesting and very kind of classic feeling about reading magazines instead of reading, articles online. There's a certain tactileness and a certain kind of like engagement that you get out of it that you don't get when you're reading digitally, right? So I thought it was pretty cool. Alongside that, I also ended up picking up this Time magazine of Pokemon. This is, I think, supposed to be exclusively about Pokemon. It's a huge magazine just about Pokemon stuff. And they have different covers, so I can't remember which ones they have. Let's see if it has a picture of them here. I think they did, but I can't remember where. But yeah, so this magazine focuses on Pokemon, on the enduring nature of it, on the cards, the video games, all of that stuff, right? And throughout this, as you guys can see, there's been quite a few different printings of it. So I think the first one was Pikachu, and then they did the starters, and then Eevee, and then Gengar was the next one, and they also did Mew. And right now they also did, or they just announced that they were going to print a Blastoise, Charizard, and is it Ivysaur? No, Venusaur copy as well. So, check it out. Go to your local newsstands and stuff like that and pick up your copy. I got this one because I had been eyeing this magazine for a long time, and I'd never picked it up. And when I found out that they had the Gengar version, I really wanted it because I love Gengar. So yeah, it was 15 bucks. It's not a great price, to be honest with you. I mean, this magazine's only $8. So comparatively, it's not great, but it is Time magazine, and it's a whole it's almost like a textbook about Pokemon. So I like it. I think it's really cool. And I love the idea of using all of these covers and catching them all. I really enjoyed that. But I think this is the only one that I'll buy. And after I read it, I might just put it up on a frame or something. So yeah, now actually moving on to the manga here. So I didn't really get too much manga this month. I only got like 3 of them plus some digital stuff here and there. So let's start with Magus of the Library, number 3. I love this series. I think it's really cool. It has the same kind of vibe as like Ride Story or something like Witch Hat Atelier. And it has that kind of, I don't know what to call it. That kind of like mystical, kind of Studio Ghibli-esque kind of feel to it. That I really like. So I bought the first one digitally a long time ago, and then I ended up picking up the second one for whatever reason physically, and then I just couldn't find the rest of them. And suddenly, in the last couple of months, I've got all 3 of the first volumes physically now, which is great. And now I just need to collect the rest of it, and I think that's going to be a bit hard, so we'll have to see how it goes. But overall, very happy with that purchase. I got it half price at Half Price Books, so I'm very happy about that. You have Iruma-kun number 3. I read number 2, and I decided to pick up the next one because I really enjoyed it. And I think I am going to probably focus on collecting this when I'm not buying, recently released volumes. And Iruma-kun is really fun. It's very interesting. It's a pretty simple premise. There's this guy that's kind of similar to Deku from My Hero Academia. He's kind of like a very easygoing kind of kid, and he gets sold to the demon god, basically. And the demon god decides that Iruma-kun is now going to be his grandson. And so he's going to go and enroll in demon school and do all of these things. And now Iruma is the only human in the realm of the demons. And he has to find ways to, 1, stay hidden, 2, not draw too much attention to himself, and then also 3, try to deal with this crazy shit that's going on. So it's very difficult for him, but it's very fun, and I really enjoy it. And I love the character work that Osamu Nishi puts into these characters, because they're all really fun. They're all very distinct and different, and yet they're all enjoyable characters. None of them are annoying per se, unless they're meant to be, and I love that. I think it's very well done. So yeah, Iruma-kun, welcome to Demon School. Iruma-kun is awesome. And finally, we have Solo Leveling number 10. That means I'm caught up to the series so far, which is great. I mean, I've already read the whole thing, you know, the novels, so I know what's going on here. But I just love the series. I think the art here is awesome. I think the pacing is a bit rough sometimes, but the art style is great. So yeah, I also had a few other manga that my friend bought for me, and he was gonna bring me one day. We hung out, and then he forgot about it, so I didn't have them. I don't have them on hand, but I think I have a picture of them somewhere, so I'll put it up here to include them into my haul, but I'll probably end up showcasing them again next month. And that's it for the physical stuff at this point. Now let's look at the digitals. So here we have two things that I bought digitally. So Mendaka Kiroiwa is Impervious to My Charms, book 1, and Cooking with Wild Game, and that's this manga. I actually wanted to buy the light novel, but I misclicked and I bought the wrong thing, and I emailed the Bookwalker about it. Hopefully they'll get back to me. I seriously doubt it though. I don't think they will, but if they do, hopefully they'll switch it out for me. I'm not really sure what their customer service is like though, so we'll see. So that's it for Bookwalker. Let me see if I have anything else on Kindle. I don't think so, but let's double check just to make sure. I don't think so, but I mean, I have something related to manga. That's Justice League and Power Rangers. And these are some of the manga that I bought last month because they were free. So I'll just mention them there as well, just for, you know, being thorough, right? So that's it for that. Let's move on to the novels here. And since I mostly have digital novels this time, let me just show you those first. So I can't remember exactly where we left off. Let's see if I go to unread. That'll be easier. So I think somewhere around here, I think, is when I bought most of the rest of Battle Mage Farmer over the break. And we have some Titan Hopper, some Bleeding Stone series. This looks really interesting. It's like Magic series set in like colonial times, which is really cool. Nova Terra Titan, that's another Seth Ring book. Kraken Rider Z book 2, that came out recently, January 7th, I think. I'm very happy about that. I think it's cool. I bought all of Cowboy Necromancer. Awesome. This creator here, I can't remember his name, Brandon Jacobs, was giving out some of his books for free. So I picked those up. There was these books called Darkslayer, and I kind of love and hate the covers there. They look interesting, but also they look like they're made in like a shitty video game software or something. But that's it for that. Let's see, is there anything else that was interesting? Mother of Learning, I got 4 of the books. Well, I had the first one, and then I picked up the rest of them just because I thought I might as well. I bought this issue of, or this version of His Majesty's Dragon because I wanted to read it again, and I forgot to bring up the physical copies that I have. So it was $2. I couldn't justify not getting it because $2 is really not that big of a deal, right? So I got it, and I'm a bit upset at myself for getting it since I know that I have it already, but sometimes you gotta buy stuff that you already own just because, right? So yeah, and then the other thing I bought novel-wise was this Mandricardo by Lynn Carter. And this seems to be some sort of, you know, pastiche of something. I'm not really sure what. It says here, Terra Magica, Fabulous Land Next Door to Our Own, Trolls and Monsters, Wizards and Warriors, Virtuous Maidens, and Wealth of Kingdoms. So there's this beautiful Amazon who needs rescuing or something, and this character goes and saves her, and this character's name is Salamandre, I guess. So, sorry, I think Salamandre is the beautiful Amazon, and Mandricardo is the knight character, right? So this has some sort of, you know, Arthurian vibes to it, but of course it's Lynn Carter pastiche. I'm sure it's not very good, but I got it for like $1, so I couldn't pass it up. I just sometimes love these covers. They're so weird, man. So I just like them. But yeah, that's it for the manga and the novels. Let's move on to comic books, which is the vast majority of this haul, because it just kind of worked out that way since December is always when I don't go to the comic book store. just because I'm out of town, I end up piling up a lot of books that I'm not supposed to pile up, and they do. And so every January, I just feel like I'm struggling, and I'm kind of scrambling to pick them up, because it's not cool to leave all those books at your comic book store, and you have to figure out a way to pick them up. So yeah, but that just means that I ended up mostly picking up comic books, and that's just kind of how it goes. Hopefully next month it's a bit more balanced. So let's start with something that wasn't from my comic book store. I bought this at Half Price Books. This is Fantastic Four Full Circle by Alex Ross. And I know there's like a very beautiful edition of this, but this was very accessible. It was $12 at my local Half Price Books, and they had a shit ton of them, which is kind of interesting. And I like Alex Ross's art style, and I think the coloring here is very interesting, and I'd never seen a Marvel book in this size. So yeah, I think I've seen the Comic Pop video that talks about this, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. So this is pretty new to me, and since there's going to be Fantastic Four stuff going on this year, I thought it'd be nice to get this. So I have the Penguin Classics edition of Fantastic Four, so I'll read that sometime, maybe February or March, and then after that, I'll probably read this before the movie comes out in July. I think it is coming out in July, which is pretty cool. So there's that. It's very interesting, great purchase, great price, and brand new. It was like even still in its plastic, and there was like 15 of these. So very, very accessible, and I'm very happy I got that. Then we have Hulk Smashernaut. This is by Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley. This I think it suffered a bit because Donny Cates got in his car crash and ended up kind of disappearing from the comic book industry during this run. But at least this first volume is all Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley, and I picked it up for $4. So it was brand new. I got it from Ollie's. It was the only copy available, and from $16, $18 to $4, that's a hell of a steal. So I couldn't put it down. I really, really wanted it, so I did. I picked it up, and I'm very happy about it. I can't wait to read it, and if I like this, I might end up buying that omnibus, because the omnibus is only like $40-something right now on Amazon. So I know it's small, so the price is probably going to be a bit steep for my taste once I get the book in my hands. But if it's, good, it might be worth it, because I really love Ryan Ottley's artwork, and I love Donny Cates' writing. So, yeah, that's it for the bound editions, right, like the collected editions. Then I have some magazine-sized books. So we have Penthouse number 6. This is the end of the first year, and they're going to restart the counting. So if you had it on your pull list and you want the issue that comes out in February, you should double check that it's being pulled for you, because your comic book store might not pick up on the fact that it's renumbered and it starts over from 1 again. So double check that, because they're not under the same listing. So yeah, this was fine. I don't like the cover, to be honest with you. I mean, I like the ebony character, right, the beautiful black lady on the cover, but this is not a very interesting design. It's very basic. It's very empty feeling. And the thing about Penthouse is that none of these covers make any sense with what's inside. Like, this series or this magazine is all about noir type stuff, so they should do noir type pinups. I don't get why they have this obsession at doing sci-fi and kind of like fantasy type pinups, when that's not what they have inside at all. Like, that's what heavy metal is for. This is not heavy metal. This is like a noir magazine. They should use noir type stuff, right? Or they should at least use the artwork inside, or the interior stories, the writing inside, to inform their covers in some way, right? So I think that that's a big failure on their part, and I am going to do a full retrospective video talking about it, but I just don't know when. But probably before the second series starts, right? But overall the stories were fine. I did enjoy 2 of them. I didn't like one of them at all, and I thought one of them was whatever. I think that the ending was a bit bad for it, but the overall story was quite good. So yeah, here's Savage Sword of Conan number 6. This was the last issue in the first year. The second year has already been announced and is coming out in February very easily. No problems whatsoever. It's very good. I did have some issues with some of the choices done here, but nothing major. Broadly speaking, it's all pretty good. And I don't really have too much to say about this that I haven't said in the other channel already, since I do like 20-minute in-depth discussions about the content of these books, right? So yeah, moving on to the single issues, I was at Ollie's buying that copy of Hulk, and I ended up getting one of these comic value packs that they have there. Half Price Books does some of them sometimes as well, although the Half Price Books ones are way more expensive. So this one that I got was $6, and the value was estimated to be between $15 and $20 worth of comics. And I mean, that is true because these comics are expensive. So here we have DC Universe Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods. This is the cover that was facing out, and I got it because of that. I think it looks really awesome. And the artwork inside looks pretty good, broadly speaking, which is nice because sometimes when you get these kind of like you know, multi-group kind of stories, you get a very bad matchup of art. So, you know, overall it looks pretty cool. This is like right before the Dawn of DC starts, and that's cool because I really like the Dawn of DC, so I want to see what came before it, what made it kind of work, right? We have Gendy Tartakovsky's Cage, Hunted, book 2, and this is very interesting looking. I'm not necessarily sure I like it personally, but I think it's cool. I have nothing to say about Luke Cage. I don't really care about this character at all. We have Lando. There's no point in owning this. I will get rid of it as soon as possible, but maybe I'll give it a read. I'm not really sure. Here's Captain Gravity and the Power of Rill. And I have no clue what this is. I don't even know what company this is. This is issue 2 of 6, and I love the texture of this paper. I think it's very high quality. The cardstock is also quite nice, and the interiors look like some sort of steampunk-esque kind of World War II type thing, right? So this is very similar to something like The Rocketeer, right? Which is pretty cool. So we'll see. If I like this, I might have to track down more of these issues because it's pretty cool. I really, really enjoy it. It looks really nice. Then we have Moon Knight, and I love Moon Knight, so that's cool. This is a very old book. I think the first time I ever knew anything about Moon Knight was through a book like this, but I can't remember which one. And looks like it'll be interesting, but I don't really have too many opinions on this. I don't know where they get these. Like, do they find these at like used bookstores and then shove them into these collections in order to try to make it what's the word, to fill it out? Or are these actually like things that Marvel just had in their warehouse or something and never sold, so they just sent it over to whoever packs these things? I'm not really sure. I don't know. So I always wonder about that when things like that happen. But overall, it's a pretty good set. I'm not upset about it at all. So let's move on here. We have Radiant Black. The story so far, this is free. So if you want to know what's up with Radiant Black, you should go to your local comic book store and see if they have extra copies of this, because it basically explains everything quite clearly. And it's quite nice to kind of understand, okay, they had a big arc. It finished up. They made a choice. New stories are going to start coming forth from that. Where are we? What are we doing? And that explains that pretty clearly. So that's quite good. Then I got Wonder Woman Conan for $2. This is number 6. I have 1, 2, and 6. So I need to get the middle books. Then we have Warlord, book 2. I love this cover. It's very beautiful. And Warlord, book 1. This is the limited series by the original creators. I don't know anything about Warlord, but I think it's cool. And I want to read more of it. And if I like these, I'll try to track down more issues of it. I don't think there ever was a reprint of it. And I know there's no omnibuses of it because I look for them. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. If I like it, I will find a way to read more of it. But who knows, right? Then we have Eternus. This was $1 from Bedrock City Comics down in Houston. Conan number 17, because I had issues with it getting to me because Diamond sucks ass, and I know that they recently said that they're bankrupt. Chapter 9, I think, or no, sorry. It was like the 11 version, which means that they're not actually bankrupt. They're just trying to ask for money, right? So here's Heat Secret number 2. Number 3 is like in limbo, again, due to Diamond. So I don't know when the next one will come out. Hopefully soon. Here's DC Dark Knights of Steel All Winter number 6. This is the end of the series. Quite good. I'm very happy about it. I wonder if there's going to be more of it, or if they're just going to leave it be as it is. And I know that there's going to be more Dark Knights of Steel because it says that they will return eventually, right? Flash Gordon number 5. Great cover. Doesn't really have much to do with what happens inside the book. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, World's Finest Special. This was really fun. I actually really had a great time with this. I liked it a lot. I loved the artwork, and I think it was Jeremy Adams, yeah, the guy that does Flash Gordon, that wrote this, and he did a great job, in my opinion, right? I think some people said that they didn't like how he wrote Hal or something, but since I don't really have an opinion on Hal, it made no difference to me. Here's Lilith by Corin Howell, and this is basically like if Vampirella found Aaron from the Wandering Inn, and Aaron turned out to have a book that she wants that helps her go back to Vampirella land, right? Like, how would she manage that? How would Vampirella try to get Aaron to give her the book? That's what this story is about, and I don't think Corin Howell is a fan of, the Wandering Inn, so it's not like she based the character of the secondary character and the story on Aaron, but when I was reading it, I was like, oh shit, this is just Aaron from Wandering Inn. So I thought it was pretty fun. Here's The Moon is Following Us number 4. This was great. I really, really enjoyed it. The cliffhanger at the end of this was awesome. Here's Spider-Man number 12. Awesome stuff. I love this cover. I think it's great. And the ending here was chilling to the bone. It was really great. Of course, it kind of flips its head in issue 13, but it's not a big deal. This cover was pretty cool. Wonder Woman 16 was pretty fun. It wasn't about Wonder Woman. It was about the Detective Chimp, and I know that's because, Tom King wants to write a Detective Chimp series, and no one's going to let him. And so he has to find ways to make Detective Chimp important, and that's what he chose to do in this case. Whatever. Justice League number 2, awesome. I love the series. It's great. I really, really enjoy it. The artwork, the coloring, the writing, everything is great. Here's Rogue Sun number 24. This is actually a pretty good stepping off point if you're not interested in the new Rogue Sun, because there's going to be a second one. At the same time, I'm not sure how I feel about Rogue Sun right now. I really enjoyed the first 12, 16 issues. So far, I feel like it's been chugging along, mostly because I haven't read it in succession. I've been reading them, as they come out. And sometimes that means that there's like 4 or 5 months when I don't read any Rogue Sun. And I come back and I'm kind of confused, right? So, I don't know. I think I need to go back and really give it a read properly to decide if I like it or not, in order to continue collecting it, right? Here's Vampirella Holiday 2024 special. It was fun. Vampirella goes to the North Pole and she has to fight Vampire Santa Claus. And it's pretty fun. There's some pretty awesome scenes here, but it wasn't anything special. Superman, Absolute Superman number 3. This was phenomenal. That one panel of Lara with the gun was awesome. And the ending is very interesting because does that mean that the L's are actually also the Kents? That's very interesting. I love what they're doing with Absolute Superman. I think it's awesome. We have Aquaman, like the artwork, like the writer, Jeremy Adams is awesome. I really enjoy what he writes. And there's not much to say here, except that I can't wait for the kaijus to show up. And there is kind of something to do with Darkseid at the end of it, so we'll see. Kill All Immortals number 5. This was the end of the first volume, and I'm sure there's going to be more. I just don't know when that will be. And I think that there were some issues with the ending there. It just wasn't my favorite. I think it went too fast. It should have been a 6-issue series. Transformers number 16, awesome. What you see on the cover is definitely what you get inside, but you also get some other stuff, which is pretty awesome. Moon is Following is number 5. This is the end of the first half of the story, basically the first arc in the story. I think there should be 10 issues total, right? But I'm not really sure. I honestly just can't wait for a deluxe edition of this. This was great. I really, really enjoyed it. It was very interesting to see what happens at the end of this, right? Where we get characters kind of betraying each other in a very interesting way, and I quite liked it. We have Witchblade number 7, the introduction of the darkness to the Witchblade universe in the second or maybe third go around at Witchblade. And there is a humble bundle for Witchblade actually right now. If you pay $18, you get the first 6 issues of this version, and you get the first 100 issues of both The Darkness and Witchblade in the original runs. So if you're interested in that, if you want to buy Witchblade, but you don't want to collect the hardcovers or try to track down issues or anything like that, check out the humble bundle. I recommend it. And it'll help you kind of catch up if you're interested in reading the modern edition, right? So, yeah, just to mention that. Here's TMNT X Naruto. awesome stuff. I love what's going on here. The cover is not my favorite. I think Jorge Jimenez did a much better job on the first one than in this one. But the writing, the artwork, the coloring, the pacing, everything is great, in this book. So deeply recommend it. Justice League Unlimited, number 3, awesome stuff. We get the return of, what's this guy's name? Ralph Dibny, right? He's a Plastic Man. Very fun stuff, very enjoyable. We get to see the Green and Swamp Thing and the Atom Project, which is pretty awesome. Overall, very nice stuff. Wonder Woman number 17. I bought this edition and also bought the Frank Cho edition, and I'll show you a picture of the Frank Cho one right now. I put it in I guess it was like a document frame because I didn't want to buy comic book specific frames, and it looks good. I regret it a little bit because now I spent $3 on that frame from Walmart, and now I also have to buy a comic book frame because I think that would look better. But man, comic book frames are ridiculously expensive for no real reason. It's very basic plastic, and there's nothing special about them, right? But there's just no normal frames that really fit the comic book trim size properly. So I'll have to get that even though I don't want to. So yeah, but ultimately, finally, we have Ultimate Spider-Man number 13. This was probably the best issue of the Spider-Man comic I've read, in the whole run. And maybe one of the best Spider-Man issues I've ever read, because I haven't really read too many of them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what I bought this month. What did you guys buy this month? Let me know down below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys next month.